Katie, Ashley, and Alex here at Tuesday's Student Roundtable, and today was Dabo Sweeney's weekly press conference, and we also heard from several players afterwards as well. So today, Dabo had to address a situation that, is not, we haven't seen this year. So there's a little incident last week with two players in the locker room having a boxing match. Ashley, can you elaborate more on what he said today?
Yeah, so basically social media blew up last week with this boxing match, and a lot of people took it as that's what the players were doing post-Syracuse, and that's how they were kind of dealing with everything. Well, turns out that video is actually from a while ago, and it just surfaced. It was one of the trainers who put it on social media, and there were repercussions with that, with the trainer and with the teammates who were involved in the boxing tournament in the locker room. Well, it's not really a tournament, but, it's for fun. So basically, Coach Sweeney kind of said he used the facility as a new house analogy, saying that this is their brand new house and that they're down the road in their life and they would never do this if they themselves bought a new house and had to move the furniture for, say, a wrestling match or something with their friends. These guys are grown men, and it was just very inappropriate, very poor quality on their part, and it just should not have been done. So he had a lot to say about it, and there definitely are repercussions for it, and I think that they all learned from it.
Right, and like you said, this is something that really should have never happened, but I think the timing makes it even worse coming off of that Syracuse loss and now focusing on Georgia Tech, which will be a very tough game. Clemson has not had back-to-back losses in 6 years, so just overall really bad timing.
Yeah, it was really bad timing for the video to be released, and it did make it look like to a lot of people outside that this is what Clemson was doing to cope with the loss. But, if we're going to be honest, if there are a pair of boxing gloves floating around in a locker room anywhere, there's probably going to end up being a boxing match. But like you said, the video was from a while ago. Coach Sweeney stressed that in the press conference today. And just really poor timing of when it was released. And Dabo said that this kind of thing will not happen again. There will be no video because there will be no boxing match in the locker room anymore. But Clemson has a lot to do to focus on Georgia Tech this week.
Now, on a more positive note, as we know, Dabo and his wife, Kathleen, are very big supporters of breast cancer education and awareness. And this game coming up this week is the Pink Game, which is where it's the game to, show support for that cause. Ashley, what are some things that Clemson fans can do to support the cause this week?
Well, like Katie said, this week is the Pink Game, and it's all about breast cancer awareness. And one of the big things that Coach Sweeney stressed was the national championship pins that are going to be being sold all over Clemson. I know he mentioned Judge Keller's and Mr. Knickerbocker's. Raspberry Fizz was another one. So basically, you can buy these pins, and all of the proceeds go to the Breast Cancer Awareness or the All In Foundation. And what they're trying to do is they're trying to raise awareness for breast cancer, and the pins coming out of a national championship, everybody wants to support Clemson and wear their national championship gear and stuff like that. So this is a really big way for them to raise money, and it's super easy. The pins are very cute. I have one myself, and I do wear it all the time. So I think it's just really important for Clemson fans to come together for this cause because the Sweeneys are so involved in it, and so is the All In Foundation.
Yes, it's definitely a great cause. And so as we know, this will be a great game this week. It's finally back in Death Valley, a night game, which, will have an awesome atmosphere. The night atmospheres are always, very fun, very exciting. But we know that Georgia Tech can definitely be a challenge. What were some things that Dabo said today that he's really focusing on most this week as he and the team prepare for Georgia Tech?
Yeah, Coach Sweeney again talked about the triple option offense and how disciplined this Georgia Tech team is. And they are a very disciplined team. They're number one in the country in fewest penalty yards. They're one of the top teams running the football. They're fifth nationally in rush offense due to their style of play. But Georgia Tech is a very disciplined team. They're gonna cut you. They're gonna run the ball down your throat, and they're gonna try to stretch the field. And it takes a very disciplined style of defense. You have to know your assignments and play assignment football in order to beat this Georgia Tech team, who really, Coach Sweeney talked about it today, was 2 plays away from being undefeated to this point. They had a really, really good game against Miami a couple weeks ago, where they could have walked away with a victory. So this Georgia Tech team's a competitor in the Coastal. They're a competitor in this conference. And it's going to take a very disciplined, whole performance from this Clemson football team to walk away with a victory on Saturday night.
Definitely agree. So keep up with the Clemson Insider as we continue full coverage of Clemson football throughout the rest of the week leading up to the game.